What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Make It Kustom, and we are continuing work on the ramp truck. So basically, this is what's going down. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we are having what we call a thrash, where basically I let people know that we're trying to get a whole bunch of work done real fast, and that's like when all the troops come in. You know, all those all your homies that have time, they come by and they help us grind and paint on this truck. Elio and I today are just like prepping for that. We're in preparations for that. So because we want to paint the chassis, there's a couple things that have to happen on the chassis before we paint it. One being another cross member for the gas tank. So in this video, I'm gonna build a custom gas tank, finish that. Elio is also working on something cool. We're gonna talk about that as well. So don't forget to like, click subscribe, hit notifications. Let's do it. Elio is working on this, which is a transmission spacer between the tailstock and the transmission housing. The reason being is that I know this is a segue from the gas tank, but I'm just getting you guys up to date. What am I looking for? I am looking for the emergency brake setup. So this being big truck stuff, just has juice brake, disc brakes all the way around. We've got like big, massive dual piston calipers. We've got hydro boost brakes. It's all hooked up, works awesome, but no emergency brakes. So we need an emergency brake. So we have this setup. This is a drum emergency brake tailstock setup from a Turbo 400 transmission. They bolt on basically, but the output shaft, although it has the right spline, the output shaft is a different length. This piece here, this yoke, is also the hub at which the drum spins and bolts to. So that yoke is actually bolted into the end of the tailstock, which means it's of a certain length. It's not something we can just chop down or do whatever. So we're gonna make a spacer for here that's 1 5/8". And I don't know if you can buy spacers, or maybe you can, but we need it now, and we have a lathe, and we are pretending to be machinists. So that's what's happening there. Then we will have an emergency brake. We're gonna use like one of those like forklift style.
When you pull the lever up, it over centers, and that's pretty much.
And it's got the little knobber on the top that you can spin it. That's the plan for this video right now, is gas tank and tailstock e-brake thing. So the gas tank we had bent up at our buddy's place. He's got a nice big press brake. So Travis Artcroft, thank you very much for that. This is 12 gauge cold rolled steel, and it's clamshell style. So like, you know, you bend these 3 sides and then these 3 sides, and then you only have to weld those. So one thing I screwed up on, I made a mistake, this is my bad, is that I didn't fully calculate width-wise with these rails in here. I was thinking about these rails and basically not these rails. So the width of that gas tank that we pre-fabricated kind of, well, just had bent at a certain measurement, is the wrong measurement for up top there. So we're gonna have some interference. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually weld the whole thing up. Gonna design a sump for it, like an area to be the lowest point of the tank that our fittings can go into. We're also gonna put a fuel sender unit in it, and our vent and our fill. But once the tank is made, like as far as welded into its dimensions, we're gonna have to bring it in here and then kind of notch out a little bit for clearance for these rails. Unfortunately, that's just what happens when you just think of something in measurements and get it ordered and just screw it up, so. Okay, so right now I'm just like tacking it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna MIG it or TIG it. I'm tacking it right now with the TIG just so that, because if I were to MIG tack, that's like a cold spot, right? Like you could probably MIG weld this whole tank and it'd be fine, but I don't wanna have like a tack right in the middle of something, because that's an area that it's gonna take more heat to heat that spot up where the tack is. So it basically cools it off when you run over a tack like that. Or it's a start-stop, like you stop before it and then you start again. Those are the two coldest times of a MIG weld also, right when you start it. Metal's cold, everything's cold. It needs a little bit more juice to like heat it up right in the beginning. But anyway, I'm taking it, tacking it, trying to make sure that I have a nice kind of corner gap that like as best as I can make it so that it'll get decent penetration. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just gonna keep tacking it all together while Elio's messing around with this block of aluminum. Okay, got the tank just tacked together. I got pretty lucky with the dimensioning and everything. Elio did use his bending software to dimensionalize this to make sure that we actually have this type of a gap. That's what you want. You want that corner gap. So I'm tacked up on that. Elio has bored out a big slug. Check this out. Just to try and get a good chunk of it gone. Right now, Elio is using the dial indicator to check round, and then we are gonna face it and bore it to the size that we need. And then the faces are gonna end up having a little step in them, a little centric.
Yeah, so this is gonna be hub centric. So there'll be a male on one end and a female on the other, and then one will fit in like this, and then one will fit in like that.
Elio and I have just been discussing this because it is a perfect rectangle, and like I was saying before, the angle of the deck interferes with it. So after much deliberation, we're just gonna wedge this thing, right? Basically 2 inches straight across the back, tapering up to nothing at the front so that this weld seam just becomes lower, making a little bit of a wedge the same angle as the deck. We should have some kind of some walls in here and a sump. The sump is gonna be a drop down underneath that we can put a couple of weld-in AN bungs, but then there should be a bit of a fence around it that just keeps fuel hanging out in that spot because we don't wanna starve our electric fuel pumping.
That's true. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll put some cross pieces of plate in them with little holes and half moons in the bottom so fuel can get through. And then on the bottom, we'll just kind of do like a wedge style sump with, we'll just do one hole for the drain, and then we'll put the return line up just on top of where the drain is, so there's always fuel.
And then also we got to figure out fuel gauge riser. We're going to set one of those up, so we'll show you how to do that. They are adjustable, and you just want to make sure that that sweep of this bottom lever gets the full sweep of the tank so that it actually reads correctamundos. And let's get to it. So I just want to show you guys, these are deburring tools. You can actually get these at KBC Tools or other places as well, but KBC gives you a discount code, Make It Kustom, all one word, all capital letters. I love these little things. They're kind of like a machinist deburring tool, but they basically just like cut that burr right off. See, look at that. Made a little coil. There's the whole burr. Elio's got the sump all designed up. What program do you use, Elio?
Just Fusion 360. It's free for hobbyists and stuff, so it's really capable. You can do almost everything on it.
Your sump is gonna be right under here. This is the tall end of that. You can imagine it in this space, tapering that way. About to weld this thing up with the Arc Captain MiG 200. I guess I have to plug it in. I'm gonna start off with 17 volts. Thing is if you're gonna do this with a MiG, you do want to be able to do long welds, because every time you stop and start is a cold spot, like I was saying before. The other thing, because the beginning and the end of the weld is the coldest, like it doesn't hurt to just like start welding and then weld into your bead. If you're on a corner edge, you're essentially like just only touching on a very sharp point. So it actually takes less heat to weld a corner, an open corner joint, than something where I'm welding a lap like this, right? Because I'm welding on top of a panel and on the edge of one, so that top of the panel is gonna take more heat. So when I'm thinking about welding up something that has different joints on it, lap and open corner, I know it's gonna be a little bit hotter on the lap. Well, there's a couple spots that I think could potentially leak. I don't know where they are now, but there's a couple times when I kind of jolted. Maybe we got lucky, and this will be the first gas tank I've ever welded that has not leaked.
It looks pretty good though. Like,
I mean, it's hard, like as long as you're getting a weld and burning both sides, like both edges, that's not gonna leak. You know it's not gonna leak. It's only on like these start-stop areas that have the potentials.
Yeah.
Or if I skipped a beat, wherever that was. I think it was in here actually somewhere.
I don't know, TIG welding, you can focus on the joint and you can see like exactly where they're melting together, whereas MIG, there's so much wire and splatter that it's just hard to see.
Look at this. Made this little sump screen there too. This is to help keep the fuels inside here, because we've got the electric fuel pumpings that's gonna be sucking lots of fuel. We might have to tighten this up a little bit, try and make this a little tighter. So anyway, let's figure out the placement of this. We're gonna weld this on and then we are gonna pressure test. I swear there's like 100 tape measures in this shop, except for when I need one. You have 3 over there. You're the tape measure bandit. Oh, all the good ones. I'm gonna make like a little t-shirt. It's gonna be like a cartoon of Elio with, and he's like a little raccoon holding all the tape measures. And it's gonna be the tape measure. Dude, I'm dead serious.
I buy my own shirt.
Dude, that would be the coolest shirt ever. Are we recording? Okay, somebody needs to make that shirt. Send us a drawing, send us a sketch of a...
We'll send you a free shirt with it on it.
Yeah, totally. Did we just make a t-shirt contest? The tape measure bandit strikes again. Okay, well, Elio is making some baffles, basically like a L bracket baffle that goes in a U shape around here. That's just to keep the gas from sloshing away from the sump area. While he's doing that, I'm probably going to go ahead and locate our sending unit and drill the hole for that. Mount that into the tank. I guess figure out where the filler neck and vent are gonna be. One of these things is pretty simple. It's got a little arm here. That arm is gonna raise and lower with the float. All we basically have to do, it tells you as for tank depth, how long your length A and B should be. And on here it says length A and length B. So B is from this top flange to the center of this pivot. And B is from the center of this arm to the center of the float. I don't have the float. Where's the float? Okay, our tank depth, if we put this at the front of the tank, our depth is, we're gonna say, is 12. So our length A, 7 and 5/16. So that is from the center of this to this. So what is that gonna be? That's gonna be 7 and 5/16. This depth here to the center will be 6 and 1/8. This thing could be pointed back that way, so it could read full at, say, 13 inches. So let's just go a little bit taller than that. Let's just go 7 and 1/8. I'm probably gonna run this pointed this direction. So we're just gonna hole saw a hole there, and that's big enough to slip the tube, or sorry, the float through and this whole thing down, and then drill and tap all these holes. and that should be good. Look at what Elio did. It says make it custom inside the gas tank. Well, it actually says make it custom. The T's didn't work out. I'm just gonna show you guys inside here. So basically that is gonna, this is the bottom of the tank, right? This is our sump facing forward when it's flipped over. So this is gonna keep the fuel hanging around. We're just gonna clamp it in place, give it some tacky-tackies. Then we put this screen piece on. We should be able to mount things off of this gas tank, like for structure.
Pushing right?
Enough to hold that in. Open. This, I'm just gonna tap. Got the sender thrown in there. Right now, we are sealed, other than the actual hole, which this air blower fits into. So basically, we're just gonna pump it up with a few pounds. We're probably gonna be able to see this thing just kind of breathe a little bit. We're just gonna spray all the edges, especially we're gonna spray everywhere. Oh, there's one right there.
Right there.
That's a leak right there, for sure. I got one little spot here, couple little spots actually. Just gonna burn those up super hot. We'll check it one more time, and then we'll be good. Welded up this little cross member here. This is gonna attach underneath the top lip of the frame. And I'm gonna bolt that on. Elio has cut a couple of tabs. These will go from the gas tank to these bolts here, just for the two rear mounts, and then the two front mounts, we'll just thread the frame and do the same thing. We'll probably isolate these with just like a strip of rubber or something in the future, but for now we're just getting it fabbed in. So my next steps are I'm going to place this cross member in, drill some holes for it, and then we will place the gas tank in there, bolt these tabs to the holes, and then weld those tabs to the gas tank. Okay, so where I'm at now is I've got the gas, or not the gas, well, I got the gas tank in between the frame rails here now. I had to move the exhaust, had to take the drive shaft out, and it's a pretty tight fit, so I'm actually a little bit worried about it, to be honest. I might have to modify the tank. I don't want to say those things. I take it back. No, it's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Positive, happy thoughts. Okay, sway bar is out. Okay, well, there it is. It jams in there. Dang it. Really was hoping that wasn't gonna be the case. Well, after much deliberation, I am gonna end the video here. I know what I have to do. I have to make a couple more tiny notches in the end of this tank because the tall part of the taper just won't quite get past here when I'm trying to tip it in. So my bad, I'm gonna have to just take a tiny bit off. Like it's not even, it's like a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch little L that I'll have to shave off of there. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. And overall, I'm gonna call it success. We got a fuel tank, it's got a sending unit in it, it's got the drop down in it. We have measurements on where everything should go, filter neck, vent, hose, return line, and yes, I'm gonna have to put a couple notches in it, but tomorrow is gonna be a big day of like tons of welding. I'm gonna leave that for tomorrow. It's getting late tonight on Thursday, so what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna jump on the lathe and turn that transmission spacer that Elio bored out with the hole saw. And tomorrow is a new day. And we've got Charlie from, if you were on the Make It Kustom Unleashed channel, you would have probably seen him. Charlie's Rods and Customs, pretty cool. He's got an LS powered cab over COE that he like daily drives. He's gonna come help out a little bit this weekend, and he's staying over and gonna thrash with us for like a few days. A bunch of buddies are coming. We're gonna barbecue. We're just gonna have a good time hanging out, working on the ramp truck. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Really appreciate you guys. Really appreciate our sponsors, Fast Cut CNC, KBC Tools. Appreciate you very, very much. And yeah, definitely check them out if you need CNC stuff. Fast Cut, amazing company. That machine has been working flawless for us. KBC Tools for all your like machining tools and equipment, like that deburring tool I was showing you. They have like an air-powered deburring tool you may have seen in some other videos. The DVR saws, all great stuff, and we really appreciate their support. And of course, all of you, thank you so much for subscribing, liking, commenting. All those things really help the reach of the channel, and I'm just excited to be doing this and having a community like you guys supporting. So until the next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.